You know, I just as soon Wizards of the Coast not bring Dark Sun back than give us this version of Dark Sun. I was somewhat excited when they announced that they were going to bring Dark Sun back, and then we saw the artwork and we're like, yeah, this doesn't look like Dark Sun. This looks like Doom. And now we're finding out that they're going to completely nerf Dark Sun. There's a new post out there talking about how, of course, we can't have slavery or anything problematic in Dark Sun. And this is the one campaign setting that I thought for sure WotC would never go back to because it is way too spicy for them. And sure enough, they did what we thought they would do, which is completely pull the teeth out of Dark Sun. And they're trying to make up for it with copious amounts of gore, I guess. Like I said, it looks more, judged by the artwork, it looks more like Doom than the original Dark Sun. Yeah, and this is one of my favorite campaign settings. So I'm I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Let's talk about this latest new Dungeons and Dragons revival and whether or not anybody is actually going to play it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hey, go out and follow me on Substack. It's at Kneon on Substack. We actually have the Clownfish TV Substack out there, which was more.clownfishtv.com. It's just clownfishtv.com. We're going to move more stuff over there because there's really no point in having a standalone website because Google has destroyed the internet. But I am going to be starting a Nidaria Substack as well, and we're going to talk more about Adventure Engine and what we're going to do with that. But really, Adventure Engine is going to be about having your own adventures. If you want to do something a little more hardcore like Dark Sun, you guys definitely can do that with it. So check it out. Follow me at Kneon on Substack. Hope to see you guys over there. And also clownfishtv.com. That's where the main Clownfish TV Substack is currently. So this is Kevin Lamb. He said, wow, dead on arrival. The content is being reviewed by sensitivity readers. Oh my God. In fact, we invested more deeply in sensitivity readers for Dark Sun, knowing the challenges it faces. So this, okay, I am not surprised at all, because if you go back a couple of years, Kyle Brink said Dark Sun was too problematic for them to bring back. He said in an interview, and again, this is 4 or 5 years ago, I'll be frank here, the Dark Sun setting is problematic in a lot of ways, and that's the main reason we haven't come back to it. So that's it. If you, like me, were hoping for 5e or 1 D&D version of Dark Sun, not going to happen. Well, it is happening. It's just getting nerfed majorly. So this is Greg Bisland who said this. You don't have to have slavery in a setting in order for it to be oppressive. There are other forms of oppression out there. Oh my God. Yeah, so Dark Sun, that was a big thing. Slavery was a thing. You think they would like it because, you know, it did focus a lot on ecological mismanagement. It was basically Mad Max meets Dungeons and Dragons, and it felt very different from D&D, but it was one of the later stage TSR campaign worlds. The books were great. I think I had whatever official D&D miniatures they made, the Ral Partha figures. I had the dragon. There only was one dragon in Dark Sun, and he looked nothing like dragons from D&D. It was just very cool. The lore was very, very cool in Dark Sun, and now it just looks like Doom. Like, if you showed me this and said, hey, this is the new Doom game coming out, I'd be like, yeah, totally. So Greg Bisland said even more sensitivity reader focus than any previous garbage we've seen. Yeah, this is going to be dead on arrival. Let's look at this. This comes from, see, Chubby Funster has it. Fighting, what is this? Fighting oppression in new ways. D&D's designers on adapting Dark Sun to modern times. Designers from the D&D team discuss capturing the uniquely violent and gritty aesthetics of Dark Sun while also adapting its controversial history. The setting has an equal amount of controversial lore that features slavery, genocide, torture, and a lot of other dark topics. It places the D&D team in a unique place to try to capture its unique aesthetics while also balancing how it's thinking about the bits of lore that may not match modern sensibilities. Oh my God. This is coming from TTRPG Insider, by the way. They spoke to Greg Bisland, Mackenzie D. Armas about the new book series at Gen Con 2026. Okay, I take it that's the dragon. He looks a little bit different from what I remember. I don't think he had wings. I don't remember him having wings Dark Sun was among the widespread of announcements at Gen Con 2026. Okay. The return to Dark Sun was driven by the fans. D&D executive producer Greg, it's Billsland told TTRPG Insider. There's always been a vocal portion of the audience that has wanted us to get back into it. After years of requests and campaigns, the company's finally returning to the 30-plus-year-old dark fantasy setting. It would have been better off if you didn't. And I want to reiterate, your second edition books still work. Dust off your Psionics handbook. That's you need that, and you need your player's guide and your DM guide, and you're good. I had the Monstrous Compendium for Dark Sun. God, it was so cool. It was so cool. They had a game too. They had a computer game for it. But yes, slavery was a big part of it. Genocide was a big part of it. It was a very dark setting. It was, and it felt almost like a totally different game. It didn't feel like D&D. It felt like a totally different game, but it was cool as hell. It's a notable pivot for the company. Former D&D executive Kyle Brink said, yep, I remember that. Said that Dark Sun is problematic, and that's the main reason we're not doing it. Billsland insisted that the D&D team is taking the subject seriously. The content's being reviewed by sensitivity readers. In fact, we invested more deeply in sensitivity for Dark Sun, knowing the challenges it faces. Why are you investing in sensitivity readers at all? Like, just put the thing out there. If it's too offensive for somebody, they don't have to buy it. But see, this is the difference between OGTSR, which was a pretty small company, even up to the very end. They could take chances like this. It was a different time too. And they didn't have to worry about shareholders so much, whereas Hasbro was like, well, we can't have parents angry. We can't have the parents angry. All right. It's talking about Urek, a city in Dark Sun that controls one of the leading armies in the region. That's because the leadership regularly presses people into military service or convinces the poor to give up their freedom for a chance to survive. See also third world countries that do this, literally do this. Right now, there are actually some countries that aren't third world that make it mandatory that you serve in their militaries. I'm just saying, you think some people will be all about that. He hopes that the setting will offer players a chance to deal with more mature stories and themes such as fighting oppression and tyrants. So is the dragon going to be Trump? Is that what they're going to do? They're going to turn the dragon into Trump? And they're going to really double down on the whole ecological disaster stuff. The game will provide mechanics for making worlds more brutal, healing less viable, and other elements that will help capture the gritty aesthetic. This doesn't look like Dark Sun. It really doesn't look like Dark Sun that much. It's like Dark Sun adjacent, but it looks too clean. Dark Sun's moral core is key to capturing the Dark Sun experience. They said, and other elements, how magic works. Yes, there actually is. Magic actually takes a toll on the environment. It kills things. There's a trade-off, right? And actually, that part of the DNA of Shadowbinders and Crimson Wren actually comes from Dark Sun. Like my experience playing Dark Sun, because it turns out that magic in that world has a cost to it. You can't just like go zinging spells off or whatever. There definitely is a balance. It also explains why there's not a whole lot of mages out there, but I digress. Sorcerers are not the only ones with the ability to drain the environment. There are going to be systems available in Dark Sun, books that allow spellcasters to upcast magic, albeit at the cost of the environment and allies around them. Another key theme of Dark Sun is psionics. Yes, you need the psionic handbook originally to play it. Players will be able to pick up wild talents, which will allow any class to inherit psionic ability. They'll operate similarly to Dragon Mark feats or dark gift feats, not dark grift feats, dark gift feats. The team basically went through all the comic book and horror novel history to find the most prominent psionic tropes and convert them into usable feats for your characters. Then they're going to add Scions, the first new class to be added to D&D 5e since the introduction of the Artificer. Originally teased in Unearthed Arcana. Yeah, they have to. Because again, for those of you who didn't play it, you did need the Psionics Handbook, because psychic abilities were a thing, as was slavery. And look, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. This is so safe. It's just like, oh, we're gonna add more gore. And I thought it was I thought it was really interesting that they're like, oh, look at this, like, metal looking cover. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem too. There wasn't that much metal in Dark Sun, but whatever. Chubby Funster, yeah. WotC gives an interview and confirms they're removing slavery. John Douglas says, don't worry, it's going to be in my game. Ken on Cape says, in fact, we invested more deeply in sensitivity readers, so it's not Dark Sun. Yeah, it's exactly it. This is stupid. Yeah. No mass slavery. You can be pressed into military service against your will. You'd be forced to give up your freedom for a chance to survive, but no slavery, no siree, not here. Well, yeah, because, fascists. Fascists. It's fascism. We got to fight fascism. I can almost guarantee you, I already see where this is going. That's what this is going to be about. We're going to fight the people who are destroying the environment and the fascists. But we can't have slavery because they're bad, but they're not that bad. Because slavery has never existed anywhere except for the US of A. Ever in the history of mankind. It's never been a thing. That's pretty much happened with every race or group of people at some point in time. I'm just saying, and if it is a dystopian hellscape, you think that slavery would probably be part of it. And I guarantee you people are going to homebrew all this shit back into it. Actually, what people are going to do is they'll buy this set, take what works, and then they'll go back and buy the 2E set, and they'll make it work with 5E. People are already doing that. Like, you don't even need to buy this. Like, there are people out there who've already made it work with 5E, or you could just play 2nd edition, which is my personal favorite. There we go, guys. Did you expect anything different? I sure as hell didn't. I'm shocked they did it anyway, and I think it would have been better for them if they had not touched it. But, this is Wizards of the Coast, a division of Hasbro Corp, and they're going to touch everything. They're going to feel it all up. Make as much moolah off your member berries as possible. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.